Yeah, Katie Hopkins. She has a lot of views that are closed-minded.
I see what you're doing. So you're asking an opinionated prat what he thinks about an opinionated prat.
Pretty much.
That's clever.
That's quite a polite way of putting it, I suppose. Because she was on The Apprentice, wasn't she?
Sure, why not? Who cares where she's come from? I don't know. I guess so. I think so. Did she get all the way through? Did she win it? I don't even know.
I don't think she won it.
It doesn't really matter. It's immaterial. It doesn't matter at all.
I think if she'd have won it, she'd keep her mouth shut. But maybe
no,
she
I
wouldn't.
don't know.
No,
She's got
I
a big
had to
mouth,
pause
and that's
then.
what it is. She's a woman who makes noises. I wouldn't accuse Katie Hopkins of being racist, but she's definitely classist. I want to know how her husband put up with her, because I just think, who is this guy? Who is this guy who has to put up with her mouth all day long? Because you want to say, shut the hell up, if she talks like this all the time.
Well, maybe he's just as bigoted as she is.
Well, perhaps. She's a one-trick pony. It's, let's say, something as gobsmacking and, as possible to get a reaction. And I think, to be honest, if Katie is very serious about being taken seriously, she needs to be making factual statements. She can't be attacking people and getting personal about what people are wearing or how they look. When you want to get your point across, you need to stick to facts. Don't keep shoving your opinion down people's throat. But look, there's me saying that, so here we are. What does that say? I think it's absolutely fine shoving your opinions down people's throat if what you say has merit. You saying that you don't want your children playing with other people's children because of their names is not a fact. That's just a stupid thing to say.
That is a really stupid thing.
It's a stupid thing to say.
Of course it is.
If, on the other hand, you say, well, I'm not on benefits myself, but I do honestly feel that with shows like On Benefits and Proud and Benefit Street, people who go out to work every day and have to struggle are getting really irritated with the way people are portrayed on Benefit Street and the way they seem to be not actually looking for work and in turn down any sort of job because they don't seem to be really looking. Example, ABC. She could have said something like that perhaps, and then maybe one of the participants, White D or whoever from the show could have said, well, actually, it didn't show you this, it didn't show you that. See, then you become informed, you learn something. And as I say, on the benefits route, she was going in that direction, but no one wanted to hear her by this point because they just see her as a bigot. if your opinion has merit, people will start listening to you. I think a lot of what she says, is more for shock value than anything else. I'm not even sure that I think she believes what she says the majority of the time, but I think she times it by 3 or 4. The thing is, when people hear that sort of stuff, they don't listen. They're not listening to what you're saying. They're just hearing it and switching off.
And if you're gonna talk about something on a chat show, you need to have like an open opinion.
I don't know.
I think if you're going on a chat show to talk about something, you can't then go, "This is how I think. I don't actually care about anything else." Because then what's the point?
Yeah, but people go on chat shows and stuff with preformed opinions all the time. It's about, of course they do. It's about the debate of the opinions and how they express their opinions and how people see that. That makes for interesting television, I suppose. I'm not even saying you can't have extreme views. I'm simply saying when you've got such stupid extreme views, people aren't going to be trying to hear that sort of nonsense. You can have an extreme opinion without it being necessarily bigotry.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah.
To be honest, I feel sorry for Katie Hopkins actually, because I think she's received a lot of flack over the course of time for her, not just for her opinions, but people have attacked her personally, and that can't be that can't be pleasant. Making fun of how she looks and saying all these nasty things. They're complete strangers, but the reality is, if you've got people having a negative opinion of you and it comes in abundance, how can you tell me you don't care about that? They're saying the meanest things about you as a mother, you as a wife, you as a person, as a human being, and you're telling me you don't care? Come on. Of course you care. I tell you what.
If you're going to go out and make those statements, of course.
Well, you've got to expect a comeback, of course. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve something, but then again, she looked like a very silly woman and she broke down in tears, saying no one likes me, people are being so mean, and yet she says these extreme statements. His name's Tyler, so his mother must be a working class person who shops at Primark, and she must be overweight. What kind of a close statement is that? It's like what? Katie Hopkins is coming from a place of ignorance, seemingly, and she wants to share that ignorance with the world. Who wants that? Who wants to share in that? Apart from people like her, and you've just got an extreme view. For what reason? Where did it come from? Oh, so in your mind, you've painted a picture of how a certain person looked because of what you've seen on the TV or somewhere else. But that's not necessarily reality. What real life experience do you have to back up this view, this perception that you have? And if you have real life experience, are you telling me that real life experience accounts for all the working class people or all the children in the UK or in the world who are called Tyler? I doubt it. All I'm saying where Katie Hopkins is concerned is, yes, she's of a certain class, but that doesn't necessarily make you unrelatable. I mean, even with Nigella Lawson and all her problems recently, Nigella doesn't come across to me as snobby. I don't get a feeling of snobbery when I hear her speak. She speaks well, yes, but I've never got the feeling that she looks down on other people. She just seems like a cool middle-class woman. Katie Hopkins, on the other hand, who probably isn't so far from working class as she'd like you to think, she wants to look down on children because of their names, and she wants to exclude children playing with her children because of what their parents have named them, something they have no control over. That sort of stuff is conservative nonsense. And the whole thing about exclusivity and this class divide is well-off people, high-class people, think they're so highbrow. They're not highbrow at all. Anyone will tell you that racism, discrimination, and classism and all this sort of stuff is the epitome of stupidity. Maybe the way she talks floats where she comes from, wherever it is that she's living now. Maybe if she's having a luncheon or a dinner party or a tea party or whatever, maybe where she's dealing with her other bigoted high-class friends, maybe that floats and they find that endearing and funny. But to working class people, it's not only insulting, it's insensitive and completely off the mark and out of touch. How are her kids going to grow up as well-adjusted people if she is pumping these sort of ideologies into them?
Do her children go to state school?
I don't know. I don't have a clue. I don't follow the woman closely enough.
No.
But I must admit, I do think she got a bit of a hard rap on the benefits route. But people were insulting her. She was only trying to get a point across, and she was only trying to talk, but people weren't trying to hear her. She needs to moderate that sort of thinking, or be shrewd enough to keep it to herself, for God's sake. Most people will say, yeah, you've got a right to have an opinion, but if you're going to put a stupid opinion out there, people are going to call you out on it.
After she did The Apprentice, she did a piece for The One Show to do with career over family and stuff like that. Now,
what was her view?
She basically said women stop playing the damsel in distress when it comes to, oh, but I must go and have a family now and then, but the company must wait for me. You know, that type of thing. No, you either work or you don't. You know, and I think that was her. It was a real black or white thing. I think in that respect, she did have a lot of facts and figures, and it was very direct. And that's one of the reasons that people kind of went, oh, what? At the end, you know, definitely generated debate. That's the whole point. You're going to use your energy for talking about something that really matters. That's where she falls off. She goes wrong by projecting a silly opinion that comes from nowhere and doesn't really mean anything, and then when you got someone who rebuttals it in an intelligent way, you insult her. That's a childish way of talking to people. It is.
Come with facts. Come with common sense. And she'll probably be a little bit farther forward than she is now in terms of keeping people engaged with what she's saying.
Yeah.
Working class people. If you want to get the working class back on side, you need to stop being so overtly classist.